So this video was produced for Genelec, and it's Obie Obrien talking about using his 8351s, which I have a pair of, and they're just fantastic speakers. But the cool thing about this, John Whitcore and Paul Stewart from Genelec went down to Obie studio, and they shot the whole thing. John Whitcore used to be my DigiDesign rep. And when I started at DigiDesign, he was there too at 95. So now he went over to Genelec for a while after working for DigiDesign Avid for a long, long time. And then after Genelec, he went back to Avid. And then he ended up at Fender. And he's an incredible guitar player. So that's John Whitcore. Paul Stewart's still at Genelec, and he's just the nicest guy to deal with. I think he's their national sales manager. But you can call him and get him on the phone anytime, and he will go through all the details of the speakers. But the reason I'm putting this video up, I mean, you can find it on the internet, but I thought a little backstory on this is Obie is very he used his 1031s, which I sold him originally, and his NS10s for the longest time. I tried talking him into all kind of other speakers. I got him a pair of Questeds, and he bought them, but then he said, just come and get them and get rid of them. He didn't like them at all. So getting him to go from the 1031s to these 8351s was a big deal because he was so used to mixing a certain way. But the other thing that's cool about this video, he tells his backstory of how he got involved in the recording industry, how he got his first job. And it's that's the way everybody used to get into the recording industry. You clean toilets and you got coffee and you were an assistant if and if somebody called in sick, maybe you got the job for a day and people liked you. But I thought this was a very well done interview with Obie. So I thought I'd say that beforehand, and here comes the video so you can see it.
So music was always in my life. My father had a record store when I was a kid, and he had an early Sony tape recorder. And I built the worst cheesy studio in my parents' basement. I went to a studio and I said, I think I'm pretty good at this. This is what I want to do. I'm looking for a job. And the guy went, yeah, I'll hire you. Actually, what he hired me to do was clean the toilets, clean the windows. But I think a lot of guys started that way. So I worked at many studios along the way that I've been able to work with artists that I really want to work with, whether they became very successful or not. It's always been about the music. My name is Obie Obrien, and I am a recording engineer and a music producer and a car builder. So I've worked with Dave Stewart, Bon Jovi, Brian May. I've done a lot of Motown stuff. I've done Marvin Gaye, Tammy Terrell, Martha Reeves and the Vandellas, Stevie Wonder. I mean, it's crazy. Okay, so part of your job when an artist comes to you is you've got to figure out who they are and what they are. And the thing that I always tell the artists is you have to tell the truth with your music. Music is the only thing that can make you laugh, make you cry, make you think. It's the last magic on this planet.
Now speak your mind like you want to. Do it now, bring a sound in the street. It's your life, ain't nothing that you can't do. Gotta do it, it's what you believe. Doing it.
Philly's got a great history of music from the days of Cameo Parkway on. American Bandstand. I'm still here because I love Philadelphia. I've always loved Philadelphia. I love the Philadelphia Eagles. Music being my great love, my other great love has always been cars. I've always had cool cars. And I loved the mechanics of how a car works together. You have to do everything from front to back to make a car work. It's the same thing with music. I went through a lot of monitors. In 95, I bought my first set of Genelecs, the 1031s. And I went through a lot of speakers. And it wasn't out until I switched to these guys. I was using the 1031A because it spoke to me. And the thing is, again, like I'm always telling the artists, you got to tell the truth. The Genelecs were very true to me. I knew if I mixed something on them, no matter where I went, it was going to be very close to what I did. A few people have mentioned 8351s to me. So I looked them up, and then I got these exact speakers and I set them up in here. And even before we tuned them to the room, I put stuff up and went, hoo, hoo, hoo. The definition was better than I'd ever heard. The low frequency went lower. You could hear the roundness, and the sub better. And I went, this is crazy. The speaker is that good. When I started really looking in depth at the 8351s, I'm reading about the GLM, and I'm like, well, what's this? And I'm like reading. I said, oh, so you hook up a microphone and you hook up a computer, and now you're going to calibrate the speakers. It's simple. You open the box, stick a microphone, stick it into the computer, like a whoop, then the other one, whoop, and then I go, that's it. And it does all the work. It makes a big difference. And then I played back a mix, and I heard everything that I missed. You hear stuff you never heard before out of the monitors. This is the best speaker I ever used. I can mix longer on these and not get fatigued. They change the way you mix because they give you stuff that the other speakers don't give you. The other great thing about the 8351s is you can take them to any studio you want and then calibrate them to that room. So now you're fixing problems in another room. So you're back to knowing you're getting what you're really hearing. It's taking something that was great and adding 15% to it. I don't know. Okay, you know what it is? I have a Dodge Hellcat, 707 horsepower. Great car, fast. Dodge came out with the Dodge Demon, 840 horsepower. These are the Demon. Makes most other speakers, they're sort of obsolete.